Hi, this is Jonathan. How are you guys doing? Today we're going to discuss about why getting a clean sound out of your electric guitar is important. When I was in a band in my younger days, we used to play a whole lot of rock stuff, rockier stuff, or stuff from Journey, Bad Company and stuff like that, and I had a lot of distortion pedals. And we seldom actually played anything clean, a clean solo or anything like that. And mostly the cleanest stuff would be done by choruses and delays, the 80s sound, like, Police, the Michael Landau chorus thing with a delay. And there's no like solos that is just like, a clean sound, except maybe for that Journey song, Who's Crying Now, at the end. And they had this nice compressed, kind of clean solo, which is not really clean actually. There's a little bit of overdrive in there. But in any case, I have a whole bunch of distortion pedals, a whole bunch of overdrive units. So when I want to buy a new guitar, I will go into a shop, pick up a guitar that I want, that I like, and I'll plug into the amp, and automatically I will just go onto the drive channel and play, solos and stuff, and do power chords and all that. That is the way I chose my guitar back then. So if I were to play a nice power chord, if it sounds good, I'll buy it. If I can play like lines and I feel good in the fretboard and I like the sound, I'll buy it. I never did consider the fact that whether that guitar really sound good when it's played clean. And what I mean by clean is just clean, like, no distortion, no overdrive, just a little bit of a touch of a drive, just a little bit to get it sustained a little bit, and whether it sounds good that way. And I used to try it on like tube amps, and the tube amps have natural compression, and that would suffice. But if I were to try it on a transistor amp, or if I were to borrow a guitar home, for example, just to see whether this guitar suits me, I'll probably plug into my amp and probably have a compressor after my guitar, and then straight into the amp and hear how it sounds like. I never did all that back then. I only go for the overdrive sound, you know, of the amp, and if it sounds good, I'll buy it, you know. But it's through later years that I found out that, you know, guitars that sound good with overdriven sound and whatnot that you have put in to your drive unit or to your overdrive unit may not sound good when it's clean. But most of the time, this is my perspective, most of the time, guitars that sound good clean will sound good overdriven. And I've learned through experience, you know, that if I have a guitar and I play in the shop, plug it into the amp, just a touch of reverb, EQ a little bit, you know, and get, of course it has to be a tube amp, right? So plug into a tube amp with a little touch of reverb, and I'll play it, like, you know, play chords, play some lines, and if it sounds good, that guitar will probably sound good overdriven. And then I will switch to the drive channel, and sure enough, it sounds great. So I did not do all that when I was young, and subsequently some of the guitars that I bought back then didn't survive long. You know, after a while we just kind of get sick of the sound and we just sell it. There was one guitar that I bought. It's a Brian Moore, if you're not mistaken, and that guitar cost a bomb. You know, it sounded great overdriven, like, you know. It's got real thin neck, you know, and a real thin body. It looks really cool. It's like a shredder's dream guitar, you know, and it plays really well. But, you know, after a while, it just didn't do it for me. It just didn't cut it for me because it doesn't have the weight. And when I'm trying to play like clean sound, like, you know, rhythm, it just doesn't cut it. Whereas the old Japanese Strat that I had, or I'm still having it, you know, and I still have, that, you know, that survived through all the years because it sounded great, clean, as well as dirty, you know, with distortion. And that's the thing about guitars, especially electric guitars. You know, nowadays when I buy electric guitar, you know, it has to sound good, clean, and I'll know that it will sound great with all the overdrives and distortion pedals. Another guitar that has really great clean sound is this Harley Benton, this black Paisley Harley Benton. Of course, I changed the pickups. The reason why I changed the pickups was the last bridge pickup wasn't as how should you say, stable and solid as what I hope it would be. It was kind of breaking up, so I changed this to Seymour Duncans. And right now, this is like, if I really want a Tele sound, this is a guitar to go to, you know. And it performed clean really well. It has that body, probably because of the basswood body, probably because of the maple neck. I don't know, probably the whole construction of this. And this guitar weighs a bit. It's not really light, and the neck is really thick. You know, it's not a usual modern C. This is like C. You know, it's a C shape, but it feels more like a U shape. You know, it's got that girth to it, and it sounds great, clean. So obviously, it sounds great if I have distortion in it. You know, if it's dirty, if I run it dirty, it sounds great as well. Has a sustain, has that mid-range, sounds really nice. And I guess for us as guitarists, it would be great for us to have a guitar that can function both as a clean sounding guitar for whatever things you're doing, a line or chords, you know, and yet function great dirty, like with distortion, with all the wow or overdrive, you know, and everything. So that would make sense to us as a musician, because if we were to play live, we have these two areas covered because our guitar can cope with this. And if we would have a guitar that doesn't function either really well in either areas, like, you know, guitar might sound great, clean, but then when it's overdriven, it doesn't have that body. You know, there's some guitars that have scoop, mid scoop, and it sounds really good, like an acoustic guitar. You know, it sounds really nice. But then when you have an overdrive unit to it, it sounds kind of fuzzy because you don't have the mid range. And there's only so much you can do with EQ. I mean, there's a whole lot you can do with the EQ, but most of the time you just don't want to do that because you just want a guitar that has the tone right there. You know, you don't have to do a whole lot of it. And that's why it's important to, you know, for you as maybe as a young guitarist or a new guitarist, to go into a shop, try the guitar, and hear how it sounds like clean. You know, don't do like what I did last time. Like, you know, I just go into the overdrive section or just playing and irritate everybody in the shop. Sorry, you know, no, you can do that, but you know, get the clean sound. And if the clean sound doesn't hit you, it doesn't make an impact on you, then you just take a mental note that this guitar might not be for you. But if you pick up a guitar and if you play the first chord and you play a clean sound, and you play a couple of clean lines, and it make an impact on you, then you know, make a mental note that this guitar sound good, clean. So turn on the overdrive and hear how it sounds like. If it sounds great, then that's the guitar for you. So in the areas of recording, you know, when I'm doing my session, good clean sounding guitar is so vital for putting musical palettes in that canvas, the musical canvas of yours, in the arrangement or in that song. So if you have a guitar, a good guitar that can function well with choruses and whatever effects that you have, like, you know, these long reverbs or delays, and yet has that character of its own character coming through clean, that guitar is the one. That's why I love some of the sounds that Michael Landau comes up with, because he has a great collection of guitars. He has this old Fender Strats and all that, and when he plays clean, you can actually hear the character of that guitar, and it's not masked. Yeah, it's probably masked by the choruses that he uses, the tri-choruses or whatever he's using, but you still have that, you know, that the character of the guitar shining through. And guess what? When you have the character of this guitar coming through clean, you will always have the character coming through even when it's distorted. So when you are putting an overdrive, or rather a distortion, and it's not too heavy a distortion, like, you know, a bit of a drive, the character of this guitar will still shine through, and that's the beautiful part of it. And that's for me, the holy grail. And I'm always looking for it sound like that, so that, you know, I can just hear it coming through and know that, wow, this is the character of this guitar. And there's something to look out for. So I hope this will help you the next time you're looking for a new guitar, or finding a guitar for your work, you know, for your recording or for your gig. And if you like this video, give me a thumbs up and join this channel. And I'll see you again in the next video. So until then, you guys take care. Ciao.